Soccer is the most beloved game across the globe, and a unifying force that brings many Latinos together from every corner of the world. From dirt pitches to massive stadiums, soccer has become ingrained in so many lives, and is quickly becoming more popular than ever in the US.
America's number 10, the best number 10 in the world, Messi.
From the excitement surrounding the 2026 World Cup in North America to the arrival of top players in the MLS, there is no denying that all eyes are on soccer. It's even been transformed into a Cirque du Soleil act. But where did the sport originate? Some say it was first invented by the Aztecs. Others say it came from China, among others. But how and when did it make its way to Latin America and become this massive force it is today? Today, soccer is the biggest sport in the world, played by over an estimated 250 million people in more than 200 countries. And with fan engagement in the billions, it's easy to see why the World Cup is the single most watched sporting event on the planet. And its massive growth and potential haven't gone unnoticed. There's serious money pouring into stadiums, technology, and players to elevate the game. But when did it all begin? Let's go back to Mesoamerica. Ancient civilizations like the Mayas and Aztecs all played ball games. In fact, more than 1,500 ball courts have been discovered in Mesoamerica. And in the Aztec region, some spectators even placed bets on the game. But it wasn't just about entertainment. It had deep symbolic meaning, like the intense Aztec game of Tlachtli, which some believe ended in human sacrifice. But it's unclear how those sacrifices were related to the ball game itself. It's also often thought that ball courts were connections to the underworld, as they were often built close to important temples and shrines. And some athletes are determined to bring back the ancient game.
Cuando vino la Santa Inquisición fue que empezó a prohibir este deporte. Si no hubiese sido prohibido por ellos, ahorita fuera el deporte más famoso que el fútbol.
Some argue that the origins of soccer date back even further. Around 2000 BC, ancient Greeks invented episkairos. Interestingly, you can even find an image of it on the European Cup, a pretty big nod to the Greeks' influence on soccer. But some believe the sport actually originated in the Far East. In China, they played a game called Tsuchu, a game very similar to the one today. But when did soccer make its way to Latin America? Well, it wasn't until the late 1800s, making its debut through the port of Buenos Aires, Argentina. European sailors were the first to introduce the game to the region. It was also the birth of the very first club in Latin America, formed by the members of the British community in 1867. Then, it made its way to Brazil through a Scottish man named Charles Miller, or the father of football, as he's known in the country. After studying in England, Miller returned to his hometown of Sao Paulo, bringing with him the game he had come to love abroad. Organizing the very first football match in 1895, he sparked the sport's popularity in Brazil. And soon, soccer quickly spread across Latin America, mostly through British railway workers, sailors, and miners. By the 1930s, soccer was completely ingrained in Latin American culture, soon shaping everything from daily life to national identity, especially in Uruguay. After a big win at the 1928 Olympics, Uruguay was handpicked by FIFA to host the first ever World Cup 2 years later. And they didn't just host it, they won it, cementing Latin America's soccer legacy and paving the way for tournaments to come. Since then, its popularity among Latino households has only continued to grow. Just look at the numbers. More than half of Hispanic Americans consider themselves soccer fans, a lot more compared to non-Hispanics. In fact, they're 3 times more likely to identify as superfans, which may explain the massive growth we've seen in soccer over the last several years. And the MLS has taken notice, bringing in big names over the years to appeal to Latino households. But those players represent more than just a game. Soccer is a cultural glue that many families use as a way to come together. Celebrating national pride and passing along traditions, it's part of many Hispanic children's upbringing. And in the US, soccer is particularly important in bridging the generational gap. Whether it's with grandparents or aunts and uncles, 76% of kids and teens who tuned in to watch the Copa América Centenario on Univision a few years ago did so with an adult. And those moments of co-viewing not only strengthen ties to the family's home country, they also help US-born Hispanics embrace their duality. So whether its origins lie in Mesoamerica, China, or elsewhere, one thing remains clear: soccer brings people together regardless of their heritage, a rarity in today's world.